Hello there and welcome to my channel. Okay, so I normally do food reviews in the car, and this is a normal day. The only difference is it's a special day because I just got a huge box of Daily Harvest. They got all kinds of new stuff, and I've done a lot of reviews on Daily Harvest, and I'm about ready to do a lot more, and I will continue to do a lot more. So if you clicked on this video because you want to know an honest opinion on every single Daily Harvest product, you're in the right place. So you might want to subscribe for future references. And I'm also going to leave a link below the video to a list of like all the Daily Harvest that I'm doing, did, and will continue to do. So the main ingredients is raspberry, almond, coconut, cranberry seed. I have no idea what that is. Haskap berry? I don't know. Vanilla bean. So these are all the ingredients. The first ingredient is organic coconut paste, organic raspberries, almond flour, almond butter, organic coconut, organic fig puree, organic cranberry seeds, Haskap something berry powder, vanilla powder. And I believe there is 7 to a serving. And I just reviewed this, by the way. And I actually baked it into a cookie. So you might want to see the review on that. And I also dipped it in this product, which I also reviewed. And again, like, I'm honest and blunt with these videos. Like, I don't care what the companies think. I'm going to tell you what I think. And I don't care, like, what the companies think. I care about being honest on my channel. This is what they look like. I already took one out. That's just, all I smell is coconut. And a little bit of raspberry. Oh, you know what this smells like? It smells like raspberry and coconut, but it really smells like they have a bowl. It's called, oh, what is the name of that bowl? What is the name of that bowl? Let me think. I had to pause the video. It's the raspberry, and I just forgot it again. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. So it's already these ones for some reason melt kind of quick. They're already getting. What is the name of that ball? They make a ball, and it's really, really good, by the way. No way. Okay, I've reviewed a lot of Daily Harvest products. I've reviewed quite a bit of their bites. Pretty much all of them. I don't think this has any chocolate in it. And it reminds me of like white chocolate, coconut, and raspberry. And the extra flavor. Maybe it's that Haskap berry powder. My goodness, is this good. Okay, I definitely recommend not letting these thaw off, though. They kind of turn to a mush quick. Okay, I remember. Okay, the smell of this reminds me of the forage ball that Daily Harvest has, which is one of my favorite ones. And I also reviewed that and how I like kind of mix things up and how I made it my way or whatever. But it's the forage bowl and it's raspberry. And that bowl smells like this, but this is like that bowl, the taste, but like way better. It's really, really like a delightful, like this tastes like a high-end, something you would get like a high-end pastry shop. And the texture is really good. The little, it's not too sweet, but it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's like perfect. I'm about to tell you a story on how I got locked into a Subway. These are 10 out of 10. I don't say that one on this channel. Sometimes I give it like a 9 or an 8 out. No, this is a 10 out of 10. This is not even a 9.8. This is a 10 out of 10. This is going to be a repeat buy for sure. This is going to be a repeat buy for sure. Don't put this on it. Ugh. Yeah. But by itself, okay, so I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10. I'm about ready to go into story time and tell you how I got locked into a subway. Crazy story. Crazy. So, before I say that though, the link below the video will be a list of all the Daily Harvest items. All I can say about this is that to me it's strange. It's like reminiscent of like a white chocolate raspberry. Like, I was raw vegan for years, and I picture being like this in a very high-end, very expensive, super high-end raw vegan restaurant. Like, this is like, this does not, it tastes, it's really good, and it tastes like it was made from like a chef, not a cook, but like a raw vegan chef. I'm not saying it's raw. I don't know. It's probably either raw or at least highly percentage raw. I don't see much things in here that are cooked. Okay, so maybe I'll bake that cookie. I don't know. I kind of don't want to waste these because what if it didn't these are like good. Like, I'm like, this is like, these are mine. All right, so I gotta put them back in the freezer quick though, because as they break down, they're not that good. Anyway, so let me tell you. So I used to live in a small town, and I used to drive a good far ways because I live in Texas, to Austin, Texas at the time. I have moved like so many times. It's really sad. And I'll have to tell you a story about that. So, so I've always had urinary problems since, well, not always, but I've always had bowel issues since I was a kid. And, as I got older, I had urinary issues too. And, so I was coming back from Austin, and I had just hit my town that I lived in at the time, and I had to go to the bathroom like really bad. Okay, like really bad. And I didn't know if I just had to urinate or also do number 2, but I know how to urinate for sure. Like, I had to urinate because it's like all these back roads, like there's no place to use the restroom, and it was late at night too, coming back from Austin. So as soon as I hit into town, right away, I pulled into Subway. And when I got into Subway, I didn't think that they were closed because the lights were still on. And when you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go, you're not thinking, I mean, you gotta go. You're just gonna go in there and go. You're not, your mind's like on thinking about stuff, right? So I go into the Subway, and there's no one in there. It's strange. I'm like, walk in, I'm like looking, because they're normally there to, I'm like, hello? And like, I'm about ready to go in my pants, right? And that pressure is there, and I'm like, I might go number 2 in my pants. So I'm like, hello? And then I was like, I'm just going to use your bathroom really quick. So I go into the bathroom, and I urinate, and it's like, I'm urinating a lot. Like, it's going and going and going, right? And then I'm like, I think I have to go number 2. And I wait. I wasn't in there that long. I was in there, the length of time I was in there was to urinate. Because after I urinated, I kind of like, pressed a little bit, like, do I need to go to number 2? I'm like, no, I don't. So then I get done with the bathroom, I open up the door, and it's completely dark in the Subway. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what had just happened? So, and there's a hallway, and it's dark in that hallway, but then there's the glass, and there's some light coming into the restaurant. But it's still pretty dark in there. Unless you get really close to the window. And I'm like, hello. And it's really dark in the kitchen area, right? Like, really dark. And it's kind of creepy too. It's almost like I went into a haunted house, like, because I just got creeped out. And I was like, hello. And I'm like, please don't tell me they closed. I'm like, was I in the bathroom that long? I wasn't in the bathroom that long. If I was, I would admit it, Now, if I had to go number 2, yeah. But I mean, when you have to urinate a lot, you have all that pressure, it's going to be a while. But what was it? Like maybe, I think I was probably in the bathroom the most 3 minutes, not 20 minutes or five, not even 5. I would say, we'll just say 5 minutes or less. Guaranteed that it was not even 5 minutes, under 5 minutes. Okay. So I'm like, hello. Evidently, obviously, they closed and they left. I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I do? So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just leave. And then I noticed, like, when I went to the door, and no alarms went off. When I went to the door, I, turned, it was a latch, and you unlatch it, and then I'm like, wait a minute now. Right away, I can put two together. I'm like, if I unlatch this door and I leave, I can't lock it back. And I can't remember if there was a camera in there on me or not. There was a camera on me. And I thought to myself, well, they're going to, because I'm thinking, they're going to think, did you go to the bathroom on purpose and hide? And then wait till we're closed, then leave the place unlocked, and then have your buddy or someone else come and rob us? Like, all this stuff was going through my head on how I could get in trouble for something I didn't want to do. Like, my mind was, I had to go to the bathroom. So, it was, I started freaking out, and I'm like, what do I do? So I don't have a cell phone, right? And, because this was a long time ago, and I think people had cell phones, but I grew up poor or whatever. So I didn't have a cell phone. And so, there's a phone there. And, I think I had my friend's number memorized, because I distinctly remember calling my friend and telling my friend, and my friend's like, I don't know what you should do. And I'm like, she's like, maybe you should just call the police. I'm like, call the police? Like, what do I do? Right? So, I didn't call the police right away. Actually, what happened was, as I called the number, there was the phone book there, but somewhere in the area, there was, like, I guess the manager's phone number. And so I called that number. I called the manager. And when I called the manager, I was just like, yes, I'm stuck in the subway bathroom. And he was like, I don't know how to explain it. He was just like, whatever. So then, I wind up calling the police, because I don't remember exactly what he said, but I guess he wasn't too pleasant. No, I think he thought it was a joke or something. I don't remember exactly, or maybe he thought I was an employee. Anyway, I don't remember exactly what happened, but all I remember, then I called the police, and I told the police. Then the next thing I know, he calls me back. The manager calls me back, and he was like, you better stay right there. And he was just like, he was very not friendly with me. He was like, you better stay right there. What are you doing in here? I was like, sir, I'm not trying to do anything. I was like, I got stuck. I was trying to tell him what had happened, right? He goes, well, I called the police. I was like, yeah, after I got the phone with you, you called the police. I called the police too. I was like, I also called the police. Like, if I'm not trying to hide something, like, why would I do that? So he was like, just right there, and don't you leave. And he was not nice or friendly to me one bit. Like, he was talking down to me like I was a child, like I was a criminal or something. And so I was like, okay, so what do I do? So I waited for the police. I just sat there on the table. I waited for the police, and I left the door locked, because I didn't want to leave the door unlocked. And I know what, just like, I leave it locked or whatever. And the police come, and they, like, have their guns and stuff. I mean, they're like, I'm like, oh my God. And I could see them outside the window, and they're like, unlock the door. But they weren't nice. They were like, you need to unlock this door. I'm like, oh my God. So I unlocked the door, and they got their guns, and I put my hands up, and they tell me to sit down, and I'm like freaking out. And they're like, what happened? How'd you get in here and everything? And I was like, look, I know y'all have video cameras. I was like, you can see me walking into the restroom. Into the subway, and you can see me saying, hello, hello, hello. I'm hoping you record audio, but if you don't, that's not my problem. But I had to use the restroom, and whether you were officially closed or not, the fact of the matter is the lights were on, completely lit up, and you allowed me to come into your place. I was like, and second of all, why didn't y'all check the bathrooms? They're like, well, you must have been in there a long time. Like, they're trying to, like, get me to, like, set me up that I try to do something illegal. I was like, you can look at the video footage and tell that from the moment I walked in, how long was I in the bathroom before you started seeing me walk into the subway from the bathroom? it's going to be less than 5 minutes. I was like, don't you think that I would have stayed in there for a little bit longer? And then, like, it just, like, I know what they're trying to do. And then, so then he comes. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He is not friendly with me at all. He's like, just, and he's telling the police all kinds of stuff. They're like, shh, shh, shh. Like, they pull him aside while the police watch me, like I'm going to do something. Like, he has another officer, like, he's watching me. He's like, let them talk. He's like looking at me, you know, like I'm going to, like, what am I going to do? Like, leave? Am I going to, like, shoot you? And they did pat me down too. And so, I was like, look, because I had bought a lot of stuff that day from Austin. I said, look, I have the receipts. I had literally, like, I almost felt like I was going to go in tears. And I'm a very emotional person. But if I remember right, I wasn't in tears. I was more pissed. And I was tired. That was another thing. I was so tired. I was like, y'all have no idea. I said, I've been shopping in Austin like all day long. It's late at night. I had to go to the bathroom. I want to go home. I was like, I will show you all the stuff in my car, in the back seat and in the trunk, and I will show you all the receipts. I was like, if I plan this out, why would I shop an hour away and do all this? I was like, I'm going to spend all day in Austin. I'm tired. If I'm going to rob a place, why would I do it? I mean, and obviously I got money. Otherwise I just wouldn't have went shopping. So they didn't care. They were like, we don't care about the receipts and we don't care about what's in your car. I was like, okay, but I'm just explaining to you what had conspired before I went in here. And it wasn't a conspiracy of robbing the place. It was, I was tired. I'm shopping all day. I had to go to the bathroom. You let me in. You were obviously still open. I was only in the bathroom for less than 5 minutes, which I think is okay for a person to do, to be in the bathroom for 5 minutes. You didn't check the bathroom, which you're supposed to do. You didn't greet me when I came in. I was like, how do you think I feel? I was like, I should have. And that's when I started speaking up, and I told the manager, I was like, you know what? He was the owner. I was like, you know what? He actually owned that Subway. I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what I should have did? I said, because you're the one who's at fault here. I was like, you basically locked me into this place against my will. He goes, well, we didn't know you were in the bathroom. I was like, okay, so, and I didn't know you were closing. So why are you blaming me for doing something when I could be blaming you? Okay? Because it's not my job to check the bathroom. That's your associate's job, not mine. Okay, so I told him, I was like, I could have, and maybe I should have, just unlocked the Subway, which I have every legal right to do because you locked me in something, and I have a right to escape, and walked out and just watch your store get robbed. But I didn't do that now, did I? I said, I called you on the phone. You weren't friendly with me. And then I didn't wait for you to call the police on me. I called the police on myself to say, look, this is what's happening. He didn't offer me no compensation, nothing. And it was ridiculous. They didn't let me go right away. They asked me a whole bunch of questions. They had to check on my ID to see if I have warrant out for my arrest. They kept asking me the same questions over and over again. I'm like, I am tired. I was like, I have not done anything wrong here. I did not break into this Subway. And then I got like an attitude. I'm like, if I've done something wrong, you're going to arrest me. Because I'm thinking now I should sue them. Not that I would. So I go home and I let all my friends know. And they're like, did he even offer you anything? I'm like, what do you mean? And so he gave me his number. And he was like, if there's any more to this story, you better call me and let me know what's going on. I guess he was just figuring that maybe I was trying to rob them. But then maybe I would admit to him the truth. So anyway, I called him up. I was like, I'm the person who got that locked into your Subway the other night. I was like, I gave it some thought. I was like, the way you treated me, the way the cops treated me, I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. I was like, I think I deserve some compensation. Oh, he didn't like that. I was like, I talked to my friend. And I was like, at least you could give me as a free sandwich. He didn't give me a foot long. I know it's. He allowed me to have one small sandwich. That was it. For all that stress. I should have, going back on it, I'm not the type of person to sue people, but how he treated me, maybe I should have got a lawyer. Because that's, I don't know, what's that word, when you're at fault? It's like, like, for example, like, let's say you slip and fall at a store or something and they have water on the floor, maybe it's even soapy water with no sign, right? And it's extra soapy, it's extra slippery, right? And they didn't take any precautions to keep you, they're not just at fault, they're at something. Maybe you can leave the comments below what that word I'm looking for. But basically it's their fault that I got locked in that subway and I was put in that situation. And then I was under the stress and everything. And then, I mean, seriously, when I say, because the thing is, this story happened a long time ago. So, I appreciate you bared with me this long, because I have to remember, I have to think hard. I remember being extremely, insanely, ridiculously tired that night. Okay. Cause I had literally went to Austin all day. Cause I used to shop. Let me tell you something. Before I lost all my houses, and that's another story that I'm going to tell you about. It's a sad story, okay? Out of all the things that's happened to me, and I've been abused, I've been sexually abused. I mean, a lot of crap has happened to me, okay? But that, losing the homes that I lost, that was the worst. That was the worst. I had shopped a lot for my future home. So, I wasn't shopping for clothes or things for me. It was always for my home, my future home. Dishes, plates, napkins. Even napkins. You just name it. I used to have all the blue KitchenAid, like the spatula, the flipper, the thing that you open up the wine, the gadgets, kitchen gadgets from KitchenAid. And I wanted all blue in my kitchen. I wouldn't do all blue again now. I actually probably do gray or green or something. But not that blue and green is a big difference. I wouldn't do red. I don't like red. Even though I live in a home that has red brick, but it's not like I chose this, whatever. This is not even my house. And then this car, which is red, which I didn't choose this either. It was a situation, which is another story. But I just don't like red, and I've always liked, green. My favorite color used to be orange, though, growing up. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I did a lot of shopping that day, and I was running all over looking for sales because there was no internet. So I literally went from store to door looking for sales. And I was just tired. I used to get up early, especially, going to Austin. I would get up early in the morning, and I would be shopping by 9:30, 10 a.m. And then, I didn't get home until sometimes after midnight, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so it was one of those days I was extremely tired. But anyway, that's my story. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that happened. Oh, that was another thing too. The son of a... I shouldn't even say that word. He checked the safe. That was another thing. If I remember right. Yeah, that was another thing. That's another reason why I was there for so long. He actually opened up the safe and counted every little thing and checked every little thing. He went through the whole store. I remember now. And he was looking for anything that I could have taken. And I was just like, you see me walk into the subway on camera. You see me go to a door, unlock it, think to myself, oh no, lock it again, and then call you on the phone. If you never see me leave the subway, and the back door, I think it has an alarm if you open it, but I don't remember because I didn't go out that back door. I didn't even mess with it. But I would assume there is. I was like, and you see my car in the parking lot. I was like, so why don't, you've already patted me down. I was like, I don't have anything. I was like, so unless, of course, I left the subway and put the stuff in my car and stole something. But you didn't see me leave the subway and come back in, right? So obviously I couldn't have done that. So why are you checking everything and making me wait here and holding me hostage while you check all this stuff when evidently, but yeah, he did. He opened up the safe. And that was another thing too. He was like, if there's anything missing, if we find anything's missing, I'm blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? I mean, you're already wasting my time. I think I was there for I think it was over 2 hours. It was a long time. It was because I had gotten home around, well, yeah, it was because Subway doesn't close that late. And by the time I got home, it was close to 3 o'clock in the morning. And Subway doesn't close that late. So evidently, yeah, they had held me up for a long time. They kept asking me the same questions over and over again. They're like, and your story is, and so what else happened? And I'm like, I didn't told you. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go really bad. There was no one in here. I was like, I'm sticking to my story because it's the truth. I was like, not even in 10 years from now, I'm going to change my story. So, yeah, there's some crazy stuff that's happened to me. But anyway, I'm going to leave my Patreon link below the video. If you haven't supported this channel, that's something you might want to look into. And because a lot of these videos, I released them early to my Patreon subscribers. And then, but if you can't, that's perfectly fine. Of course it's fine. But then I just ask that you please subscribe. And if you can't do that, I don't know why you can't, then at least comment and give me some, you know, some love back. And just because I love reading the comments and answering them. All right. Until next time, have an awesome day. All right. Bye-bye.